Helping Hand gonna come out. Oh? Oh? Electro Web? Please be Max Dragon. Please be Max Dragon. This would be so funny if it's Max Dragon. YouTube, today we're trying out a brand new team, and this team has Golisopod and did really well in the most recent March International Challenge. Now, Golisopod is a very interesting Pokemon, especially in a Dynamax format, because Emergency Exit is a weird ability. Theoretically, there's some cool stuff you can do with it, but in practice, it just is an ability that just ends up really hurting Golisopod because you don't really want to force switch out at times, because what if Golisopod's trying to get attack off and is forced to switch out and then you don't accomplish much. But on this team, the fact that the Emergency Exit can maybe work for a lot of pivoting against strong max Pokemon, and of course Zacian, which Golisopod does resist two of its very powerful Behemoth Blades and fighting type attacks. So we'll see how the Golisopod team does. But if you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. If you want to check out the creator and the details of the team, I'll link them down below in the description. And of course, if you want to try out the team, why not grab it with the rental code right here? But let's get started and play some games. Solgaleo, Kyogre, Incineroar, Raichu, Grimmsnarl, and Amoonguss. All right, we have screens, most likely Lightning Rod support from the Raichu here. They don't like Yveltal at all, though. Like, Yveltal is going to be an absolute monster for them to handle. And I really do like the Trick Grimmsnarl here, because the trick could come really handy, tricking away the weakness policy from Solgaleo potentially, especially if that's like a Brutal Swing Raichu. Now, what would I say I want to bring is the question. I actually think a Golisopod lead actually works here, because Golisopod could be really nice for just getting an attack off here. And yeah, it could actually be really solid, I think. So let's go with Grimmsnarl, and I think Golisopod. I definitely want to bring Yveltal in the back, and I think it's Zacian. Like, I just don't really like Elekey in this matchup. I don't think it really helps out too much, especially with the Lightning Rod Raichu and the Amoonguss. I don't really have much that can help out against it. I can see myself bringing Landorus, but I feel like if I'm Dynamaxing Yveltal here, then there's not really as much of a point of bringing the Landorus. It is good against the Incineroar and the Raichu. However, I think Zacian is just really good here too, so I'd rather just bring it, because Zacian is just faster and can help me deal with the Raichu, so I can eliminate it before it really annoys my Yveltal with a potential Nuzzle. Let's find out if this is going to be the case, though. It could be like Fake Out. I guess what I could have done actually was keep the Golisopod in the bag. If they lead Raichu plus Solgaleo, then it was probably better to do that. And speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. Okay. Might not have been my best option. We do lead the Grimmsnarl plus the Golisopod here. And yeah, this could be a Steel Spike here. Not exactly my greatest work. Or they could go for the Brutal Swing, but I don't think they're going to go for the Brutal Swing right away, especially against the Grimmsnarl. So I think I'm going to go hard retreat into my Zacian. I don't care if Zacian goes down. I think it's like completely fine if it does. I think I'm just going to go for a first impression into the Raichu slot. Get that damage into Raichu. I would have really liked to actually maybe like having Golisopod in the back, because I could have switched out the Grimmsnarl to Golisopod and got maybe the Emergency Exit off the Steel Spike. I will find out what they decide to do here, though, but I think it's either Fake Out Sunsteel Strike or Fake Out plus a Max Steel Spike into the slot. We are going to see the Dynamax come up from the Soul. It's not the end of the world if they get the policy up. It's just going to be really annoying, I think, especially if they have a Amoonguss in the back and commit to like full Solgaleo support. I do got to be careful. A Steel Spike should be completely fine here, though. I don't mind if they go for the Steel Spike, because it shouldn't knock out the Zacian here. Let's find out what they do. It's going to be, yep, Fake Out going to come out into the Golisopod, which is interesting. Okay. So they're scared of the Golisopod, I see. Steel Spike going to come out, though, into the Zacian, which kind of stinks. I could have, like, I was hoping to go for, like, a first impression of Raichu, bring it down to Sash, and then Aqua Jet it for the KO. Now, I can't exactly do that as easily, but it's still, like, not too bad. I think I just go for the Sacred Sword and the Raichu and an Aqua Jet. That should KO the Raichu here. And if they go Incineroar, they take a lot of damage. I don't care if I lose again my Zacian. It was a mon that's still really good, but the main point of the Zacian was the fact it was fast and did a lot of damage, and specifically outspeeding the Raichu. Again, Yveltal is the Pokemon I'm looking forward to winning this game with. We're going to see the Aqua Jet come out. It'll be a random static Raichu. Okay, we're good. And Sacred Sword going to come out, knock out the Raichu. Good. Okay, that's a really good turn. That's a really good turn. Let's see. Should be Steel Spike or Quake. It's going to be Rockfall into the Golisopod. I guess they see a Golisopod as a threat. They don't really have to damage to it, but I do survive, which is cool because I get a free switch now. And I really like Grim as a switch. I really do like Grim as a switch here. So we get the emergency exit off. Yeah, I like Grim as a switch because it threatens the trick, which is so good for me here. Or I could go hard into Yveltal, but I do like hard into Grim here. Like Grim is so good right now. Grim is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, let's just get the trick strategy off potentially. As Sand, I also don't want Yveltal to take any unnecessary damage, and I don't know if they're going to be inclined to go for the max quake. We're going to see Incineroar come out. Okay. Which, again, I'm not too worried about. I guess that Incineroar is going to threaten quite a bit of damage. However, yeah, let's just switch out to Zacian here, I think, into Golisopod if this is the case. I don't know if they're going to fake out. I think I could see fake out Steel Spike into Grim. As I mentioned before, that was a play that they could have made earlier. However, yeah, I think this is the perfect time to go for the trick into Solgaleo, switch out into Golisopod. Because, for instance, even if, let's say, they knock out the Grim, I get Yveltal in, their Dynamax is over, I threaten a lot of damage in general. Yeah, they don't exactly have the best cases. Fake out going to come out into Grim. All right. And let's see. Did they go for... They went for Steel Spike into the Grim. Perfect. I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. Exactly. All right. So Golisopod back in. How fast is this Golisopod, though? Because if the Golisopod's faster than Incin, that'd be really nice because I could go for Liquidation. Incineroar is faster. Unfortunate. Okay. Although that should be fine, I think. I go hard into Yveltal here. And then I think I just start going for the Airstreams. And I think I first Impression plus Airstream here. I'm pretty sure I do. Because I think that Solgaleo's options here aren't exactly great. I want an Airstream up because in case it's Scarf Kyogre, I'd rather just have that Airstream pressure. And I go for First Impression. Yeah, it just really sucks that my Golisopod's not faster. I don't know how fast Golisopod is naturally. Let me double check. 64. Okay, so we were just not fast at all. But I guess we did have a lot of bulk to live with Rockfall. We will go for the Airstream, though, into the Incineroar slot and a First Impression. I'm hoping that this combination can just allow me to pick up the Knockout into that Incineroar. And I guess if this is Trick Room Solgaleo, then I should be worried. But I feel like Trick Room Solgaleo... We saw Sunsteel Strike, we saw Rock Slide, we should see Earthquake, I'd imagine, and then I think last move should be Protect. We'll find out though. If it is Trick Room, I guess that could be a little bit scary. However, I think I could probably play around it with Golisopod. First Impression, some decent damage off here. Airstream, actually did Aqua Jet do more? Probably, but yeah, it looks like a physically defensive Incineroar, so Airstream's able to pick up the knockout with the Life Orb. Okay. Get the Speed Rise for Golisopod 2. I guess I could have went for Airstream Liquidation, but I didn't know how fast the Incineroar is, so it was just safer to go for that play. We're gonna see. It was Trick Room. Okay, that's actually kind of concerning. Dang, I could have went for the Max Darkness then. Okay, I think it's fine with Golisopod because Golisopod, even with the Airstream boost, should still be faster. I don't think the Soul is like mid speed on this team. I don't think any of these Pokemon are mid speed at all, actually. Like, I just can't really see it here. So I guess we're just going to go for a Leech Life into the Kyogre slot, and we're going to go for a Max Darkness also into the Kyogre. If they go for Protect, I don't think that's too bad. I get a little bit of extra chip. The Life Orb Max Darkness would also really hurt the Kyogre here. And there's also a chance it doesn't have Protect or maybe a Assault Vest set. If we go for the Leech Life into Kyogre, that's a good amount of damage. We'll heal back quite a bit. And let's find out what they're going to decide. It's going to be the Rock Slide coming out. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not a single target. Now it's a single target Water Spout instead of a spread one. But we did weaken it. Yeah, we're able to survive, which is nice. It looks like we'll live another, which is cool. We're able to get the Max Darkness off into the Kyogre. All right. I don't think this is too bad. It's obviously not that ideal because there's 3 turns of Trick Room. I guess it's not. I mean, I guess this is doable. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's policy on the Solgaleo, but it shouldn't live a Max Darkness at all. So, and it doesn't look like Rock Slide KOs the Yveltal at this range. It looks really close to first Sunsteel Strike, though. Actually, they're the same base power. I don't think it does, though. Not this range. I'm going to go for a Sacred Sword. I'm going to go for the Max Darkness into the Solgaleo slot. Let's see. Was I right here? Sunsteel Strike. Do you survive? We do. Okay, yeah. had quite a bit of HP to remain. Sacred Sword into the Solgaleo, and the Max Darkness is gonna fish out the Solgaleo. Wow, it was actually Trick Room Solgaleo. I didn't think it was gonna be Trick Room. Yeah, I know they had like pretty common Trick Room mods with like Instant and Amoonguss, but I really thought with the Raichu they didn't need the Trick Room, but it looks like I guess they did have Trick Room after all. I thought it was just gonna be like screens, maybe like 4 attacks or 3 moves protect. But yeah, but thankfully the Golisopod actually cut me a clutch, especially with like how I was playing. It was slower earlier, but it actually ended up working out for me because the fact that the Golisopod was just slow meant that unless it was meant to be Kyogre, which I really don't think you run with Raichu and the Nuzzle as an option for speed control, that I was able to get some pretty big damage off to the Incineroar first impression, outspeeding it with the Airstream combo for the knockout before like a potential berry that could screw me over, and then the Leech Select to heal back a bit of HP. Maybe it could have let the Rock Slide with some more, but it did some really good damage to the Kyogre, weakening that Water Spout, which was absolutely huge for the game. Okay, Dialga, Zacian, Togekiss, Rotom Wash with Rillaboom and the Incineroar. Now, this is quite an interesting game because Zacian with Dialga usually has Grimmsnarl, and no Grimmsnarl on this team is really something. All right, Landorus probably pretty good here, but the thing about my Landorus is slower than Dialga, and if it has Hailstorm, that's a really big issue. That's a really big issue that I don't think I can afford. All right, let me figure how I want to play this. I do have Screech on the Eliki, which could actually come into play here. Yeah, Screech might actually be a good combination here, and I do think I want to go for it. So I'm going to go for a Eliki, I think, with the Zacian here. I don't think I need Grim here in this matchup at all. Landorus is good. I don't know how good. I can see myself pivoting through the Steel types though with my Golisopod. And then the question is, do I want to bring Yveltal or do I want to bring Landorus in the back? Because we're not really bringing a Dynamax Pokemon, so it's really one of these two, and I just don't know because Yveltal is better against the Dialga, but Landorus is better than against the Yveltal, which is, or not Yveltal, the Zacian, which is pretty important here. It's kind of tough because they're both really, really solid here. I don't know what's going to be more troublesome. I think it's probably going to be the Zacian. You know what? I'll bring the Landorus because I think Zacian's a bigger threat than the Dialga against my team. Especially if the only problem I have with my team is that I can't go for a Screech Sacred Sword because it doesn't work that way. I get Screech Behemoth Blade a slot, but I can't go for Screech Sacred Sword. Although having Electro Web could be really nice to support here. We're going to see the Dialga really? No, Dialga Kiss. Okay. That's all right. We bring out the Eliki plus our... all right. This is interesting. I do threaten the Behemoth Blade here. I think they might be Ally Switch Togekiss. A lot of the Dialga teams, I think, run Ally Switch Togekiss for this situation. So I kind of want to read that actually immediately. And if I had Close Combat, I'd Screech Close Combat to Togekiss slot, but I don't think that's worth it. I'm just going to T-Bolt here, and I think I'm just going to swap to Golisopod. Because if they target down the Eliki, I still have Sash available, so I think that's okay. But I do kind of want to preserve that if possible. We'll find out. I really do think that this is going to be Ally Switch and some kind of form of attack from the Dialga. Probably a Max Quake. I could see Max Dragon to Eliki. I think Max Dragon to Eliki is pretty fair here. But I do imagine Togekiss either A goes for the Protector, B an Ally Switch. I really can't see it going for anything else. Helping Hand, I don't think they need Helping Hand. I don't think it helps them pick up a knockout unless the Dialga's not Life Orb for some reason. But we'll find out. The Dialga is going to max here. Okay. Show me the Ally Switch. Show me the Ally Switch. That would be really nice. Ally Switch would be the one I would like to catch right now. And a Thunderbolt into that Togekiss would be really nice. Okay, they protect. Okay, same thing. They protect the Togekiss. That's all right. Who are they targeting though? Thunderbolt going to come out into the Dialga. Pretty good chip actually. That should be like a rail Dialga. Max Quake. This is important. Who is it into? It's going to target down. Nice. What was the Golisopod? Perfect. Okay, that's really good. Which makes sense. They want to boost out the Togekiss so it can take the Eliki attack. The Togekiss is not living the Zacian attack unless it's a Berry. It is Life Orb confirmed on the Dialga. Perfect. We can go for a Thunderbolt, I think, into the Togekiss pretty safely. Get some damage off. Or I could Electro Web. Electro Web might not be a bad play here. You know what? Electro Web's fine because I can set up for my Landorus. And I think I'm going to go hard Zacian here. The reason I'm going to go hard Zacian is because this could be a Max Dragon from the Dialga. But I do think it's probably just going to be an attack in the Eliki, which I think is okay too. because I don't want the emergency exit to activate, and I might as well have Golisopod healthy if possible. The emergency exit still can be very useful in the later parts of this game. Helping Hand gonna come out. Oh? Electroweb? Please be Max Dragon. Please be Max Dragon. This would be so funny if it's Max Dragon and I got the read. It is lightning that's so awkward. Speed. Oh, that's something you want to see if you're my opponent right there. Oh no, that's not something you want to see if you're my opponent right there. Okay, a Thunderbolt here. Back into Golisopod. Back into Golisopod. Oh. It's too good. This thing's too good. Oh, just absorb the hit and then bluff it, because they didn't have a really, I don't think they really had a good way of really damaging. I'm pretty sure the last Pokemon was going to be Incineroar Zacian in the back, and I don't know if they're play rough, but if they don't have play rough, they don't really damage the Golisopod. And I thought, okay, they could kind of leave the Eliki alone because they got the Quake boost, so I might as well just switch into my Zacian, because the only move that they could hit me with a decent amount of damage is going to be that Max Dragon. And the fact that I was just able to still out their Dynamax, that's the thing about Dialga, and that's one of the weaknesses. It's really strong against a lot of common Pokemon, but a lot of its max moves kind of rely on guessing, because there's a lot of immunities, especially with a lot of fairy types around and a lot of Pokemon that can like be immune to the max Quake. So you do kind of have to get those calls right, and I was able to like stall out the Dynamax, and yeah, that just didn't end well for my opponent. Okay, Shedinja, Zacian, Kyogre, Whimsicott, Serena, and the Landorus. Now, I am not a fan of facing these kinds of teams. It's always a little bit difficult dealing with it. All right, so my Golisopod can do some work, I guess. Yveltal's, of course, incredible in this matchup if I'm able to position it correctly. The problem is my Grimmsnarl, which would be really nice in this matchup generally, which I still might even have to bring, does not do well against this team by far. And I mean by far. I actually kind of want to try out leading Landorus plus I think Landorus plus Golisopod actually makes sense as a lead. And I think I'll try it out here with my Zacian and Yveltal in the back. The reason I want to try out Landorus is because Intimidate might actually be really important for Serena, which I think they're going to bring in this matchup. I actually don't know, because they have multiple options that they can bring here. Like, their Pokemon are pretty solid against mine. They have the Landorus, which I do kind of want to intimidate if I can. They have the Kyogre, which is pretty tough for me, but Golisopod can handle that. I'm hoping that Golisopod can really do well against the Zacian plus Kyogre. I need some decent chip against them specifically, or maybe Yveltal to win. The problem is I haven't exactly thought about this too much. I don't want to bring Eliki because I think it's Scarf Kyogre with the Serena, which makes it pretty hard to bring Eliki, especially Focus Sash. It's not doing enough, but okay, this is a perfect lead here for me. Okay, a Yveltal, or not Yveltal, why did I say Yveltal? A Whimsicott plus a Zacian right here. This is ideal. This is ideal. All right, I get intimidated off into their Zacian and their Whimsicott. Pretty good lead here. I did really want that Intimidate for the Zacian because it really just helps slow it down later. Now what do I want to do? Do I want to go for a Max Quake immediately? Because Max Quake with Golisopod seems like a good option here. It really does. I could First Impression to the Whimsicott here, which, is that worth it? So let me see if I went for Rock Slide and First Impression. The Leech Slide help might be better. However, yeah, I think I'm just going to protect Landorus because I want to scout for what they decide to go for here. And I think I am going to throw off the First Impression into the Whimsicott. Turn one. Let's find out what they're going to do here. Helping Hand. So is this Helping Hand Behemoth play into Landorus? I am really glad I made this Protect play then turn one. Okay. Protect the Landorus. Let's find out what they're going to opt for here. First Impression going to come out into the Whimsicott. I think it has to be in the Landorus, right? Yeah, Behemoth played into the Landorus. Perfect. Okay. So that's really nice. I can go for, do I really want to take the knockout Whims? I guess the Whim is kind of annoying. The fact is that my Landorus will probably survive a Helping Hand Behemoth. Actually, I don't know. My Landorus has some bulk. I don't know if it's enough. I think it depends heavily on their Zacian spread. Do I want to risk that? I feel like it's probably my best, right? Because I don't want to take health on my Zacian, right? I think it's probably my best. I think I'm gonna go for the Quake. I also want to see if they would potentially go for like a Shed Switch into the slot here. But yeah, let's just go for the knockouts here. Let's take the knockout onto Whim. and hopefully to knock out Zacian. We're gonna see the Whim's retreat here. Is this the Shed? Okay. Shed is revealed. I'm not surprised. That Pokemon is going to be a little bit annoying, but we do have tools for it. I wonder what item it is, because I'd imagine the Whimsicott Sash, and if it's Sash, that means there should be Goggles, which means Airstream always threatens it. However, if it is Goggles, it could potentially be the Indoor set on the Shed, because Indoor is really strong here. We'll find out. They went for Player Off in the Golisopod. Okay, I would have probably taken that. If the emergency exit activated, that actually would have been best case, but I feel like I probably would have survived the hit decently enough to where emergency exit doesn't actually apply here. So this is actually still kind of awkward, but very manageable. All right, so goodbye Zacian. That's a really good Pokemon to get rid of here. I have a plus Spadef, Landorus, and Golisopod here at full HP too, so I don't even have to worry about Kyogre Water Spout dishing out that much damage here. Although I do have to worry about the Shed now, and they go out in Whimsicott, which is perfect. Are they gonna forfeit? I don't think they forfeit here. I'm just gonna Airstream the Shed, or do I want to Airstream the Shed? I kind of want to Airstream the Whimsicott. I feel like that they might ally switch here, right? They might. I mean, I think it's just better to go for the Airstream here anyway, and just go for a Leech Life into... Actually, no, I do want to take the Knock on the Whim. Yeah, I want to take the Knock on the Whim. I'm gonna go for the Knock on the Whim and Leech Life it. Let's find out. Let's find out. Ally switch? Yep. Okay, I was right. I was right. I thought it made sense there, because they probably thought I was going to just Airstream the Shed slots, which Whimsicott would have gone down, and then the Leech Life gets redirected. But nope. I know what you can do, Shed. Goodbye, Shed. Beautiful. And I'm able to get the Leech Life off into Whimsicott, and +1 Golisopod right now. +1 special defense, the more important one. The speed doesn't matter, but specifically dealing with that Kyogre is actually pretty easy, I think, with this Assault Vest Golisopod. Now, I guess the question is, does Kyogre actually knock me out with a Water Spout at full HP with my Landorus? Because that is something that I do have to, I guess, be concerned about. But I mean, if they fire off a Water Spout, I get pretty good damage with Leech Life, so at the end of the day, I don't think it's too bad here. I need to stall out 3 turns of Max. I'm gonna fire off the Max Quake here. I might as well. I don't see a reason not to, because if they protect and play passive, that means they stall out a turn and I get the Max Quake damage off, and it's not even that bad if they go for a Water Spout and knock out the Landorus. I think it's okay. The battle's actually gonna be forfeited. Nice. I am way too used to dealing with Shed and Ally Switch, and I lost it so many times at the recent IC that happened in March. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm committing to Shed when I play against it, and thankfully it did work out right there. Being able to, I think, just get a lot of damage right there into their team, able to knock out their Zacian, which was perfect. And yeah, even though they didn't switch out the Shed like I thought they were going to, they did for the Whim slot instead, which ended up working out because I was able to finally take the knockout into their Zacian, and yeah, that just gave me a lot of momentum. Okay, number 154 on ladder with Sun, but no Groudon, Whimsicott, Charizard, Venusaur, Snorlax, which is interesting, Calyx, Shadow Rider, and the Zacian. Okay, Snorlax, very interesting pick here. Sun mode, enough fun for me to deal with. I do have a Landorus though, which is actually pretty good against my opponent's team. I feel like Golisopod, I don't think it's gonna have much fun here. I just can't really see it. I do love my Yveltal quite a bit here in this matchup though. I don't know, because I kind of want to bring Golisopod, but of course Charizard is just way too threatening here, and I think I need my other restricteds, because my other restricteds have a lot of power here. So let's go with the Landorus and the Grimmsnarl, I suppose. Let's bring our Yveltal and our Zacian in the back. Normally I think Golisopod would be okay in this matchup, because it could be like a really good pivot against Zacian and the Calyx Shadow Rider taking attacks and breaking a potential Focus Sash with its priority. However, against a Sun mode, I think that's a weaker thing against that, and that is probably the scariest mode of the team right here. And we're going to see that Whimsicott Charizard come out here, and no surprise, it's just really threatening. Now, I guess the question is, what kind of Whimsicott are you? Are you Switcheroo? Are you Sunny Day? We have questions that need to be answered right here. Now, that is actually going to be pretty important. I think we go for... Oh, it's just so weird position-wise. I think we trick the Charizard and we Airstream. I think that's the play here, because I think they had to max guard and maybe like tailwind first. I don't know. This is a rough spot for them too, because they don't know what set I am. If I'm fake out on the Grimmsnarl and they go for that play, they could lose. It's just really awkward for, I think, both of us. I'm just going to trick here though. I'm going to trick the Charizard and go for the Airstream and the Wims. I mean, that's like a pretty decent trade-off here. We are going to see a max from the Charizard. The question is, does it go for the max flare immediately? Or not max flare, but the wildfire? Or does it just go for the max guard here? Because Charizard's a threat to me. It does a lot of damage. But the thing is, I don't know what their Wims is. At least, if this is switch or reject button, a little bit upsetting here. A little bit upsetting. But hey, at least I still get the Airstream KO into the Whimsicott at least. And the Charizard is also taking the Iron Ball right here, which means it's vulnerable to Earthquakes and Rock Slides and me outspeeding their Charizard here. And they don't get Sunny Day, which is not terrible, but it's still like far from optimal. Let's find out. We're gonna see a no max guard, just Sunny Day. Okay, that's okay here. I'm able to get an Airstream off into the Wims. I don't know what item you are. Trick onto the Charizard. Okay, Iron Ball, Charty. Okay, so that's why they went aggressive with the Charizard. They're Charty Bear, so they would have lived the Rock Fall. Airstream does come out of Wims. It does survive. That's fine. Okay. I think we live one attack with Landorus. We're not going to live one with Grimmsnarl. And I think it needs to be the Landorus here, or this is troubling. It's into Grimdell. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay. So we do, well, I guess it's not too bad because we have an Airstream up and their Charizard is like really slow and vulnerable to rock move at this point. So I guess that's not terrible here. Yeah, it's not terrible. I think we go hard into, who wants to take the wildfire here? This is where it gets tricky. I guess we go hard into Yveltal. I don't really like Yveltal here. I think we have to though. No, we do have to go Yveltal, I think. Yeah, we do have to go Yveltal. We got to get rid of the sun. We got to go for the rock fall here. I guess, oh, this is still very, very strange here because they could max guard here. I definitely want to rock fall the Charizard. I think I just double up the Charizard with Oblivion Wing plus a rock fall here. Now, the reason I do this is because if Whimsicott goes for a Tailwind and Charizard goes for a max guard, if I KO the Whimsicott, that means they get a free switch to Zacian, and then they Behemoth Blade Wildfire, and then I just am going to get destroyed because I've taken all this Wildfire chip as well. So I think I have to target the Charizard slot and make sure it goes down. And if they go for Tailwind, at least I'm getting to knock on both of these Pokemon while still having a Dynamax Landorus that's still available, which is pretty important. So we are able to get a Rockfall off into the Charizard. Should go down. Yep. It's unfortunate I'm not able to get a Max Quake Boost. The Max Quake Boost would have been really, really solid here. We are going to take the Sand here. And I guess, I mean, they don't know if I have Sucker Punch, I guess, which is the big thing here. The Sucker Punch is pretty big. Okay. It's a doable game. It's a doable game. We are able to get a Oblivion Wing off, KO the Wims. Now it's Calyrex in with Zacian under Tailwind. And this is where the weakness kind of shines through because now they have a lot of offensive pressure under Tailwind. And at least the benefit is that... Actually, I don't have a benefit. I don't have a max Quake Boost because I went for the Rock Fall, which isn't exactly amazing. Okay, let's find out because this could be a very strange end game, to say the least. We're going to see the Calyrex come out with the Zacian. Are they going to double protect here? I can see them double protecting, but I don't know if double protect is what they want to accomplish here. Because if they go for double protect, it's strange, I think, if I Airstream here. Although I could see it too. Which is just... this is just... Does Behemoth Blade even KO the Landorus at this range? I feel like it probably does. I guess that's also a thing to consider. I guess I have to max guard and Heat Wave. Is that really my best out though? Probably. I think I have to go for it. But the thing is, am I in range of Astral Barrage after the Wildfire chip as well? Because I think Calyrex probably has to protect here. Unless this is like a offensive Calyrex, which I'm just not sure. This is where I'm like, I don't know the position well. Because it just depends. Because it really depends on their item. You know what? I'm going to max Quake here, and I'm going to go for the Heat Wave. Yeah, I'm going to Heat Wave. I think Calyrex protects. They have it. Sub. Okay, that works. That works. Sub is interesting. Okay, they went for Behemoth Blade. They target down my Yveltal. This is still a... I think this is still a game-losing position. I think Max Quake will knock out the Zacian. But can I beat the Calyx behind a sub now? Sub Calyx. Like, I was trying to think of like, okay, what happens if they double protect here? They double protect. What's the worst I could do? Airstream, Max Quake. Then my Dynamax is over. They ship me a lot. It just didn't seem that great. Oh, this is so weird now. We go out into our Zacian here, but I'm pretty sure we can't win this game. Maybe. If Rockslide breaks the sub, maybe. They're just gonna protect to burn a wildfire turn, right? The thing is my Landis faster? I don't think it is. Am I Zacian? I don't think it is. Pretty sure my Zacian's really fast, which means I can't even go for like many yeah. Oh wait, I am faster than my Zacian. That's actually really good. Okay, I do have an out, I suppose. We rock slide here. We're gonna go for a Behemoth Blade. Okay, we need to survive the Astral Barrage combined with I have to hit rock slide, break the sub, and then Behemoth Blade has to go off. Okay, we're going for it. Our Calyx gonna go for a protect. Yep, to burn the wildfire chip. Can we knock out here the Calyx? Can we survive? Because if it's sub, it's not focus sash, which means it's a life orb. Because the Charizard isn't life orb, the Venusaur could still be life orb. This is where it gets really concerning. We know that the Whimsicott was focus sash, so it's not sash Venusaur, but it could have been Koba. This is close. Also, I have no idea what my Zacian spread is because it's not fast. Is it? It's not fast, is it? Yeah, it's not fast. I guess it's just max attack with like some speed, some bulk, which I don't know if it's going to clutch it out here. Landis is at +1 speed def, so I think we should live one Astral Barrage with that. I think it's a big question of Zacian specifically. That's what I'm nervous about. And protecting doesn't do anything here. Okay, okay. Hit. I need to hit rock slide. Okay. Break the sub. This better break the sub. Please? Please? Okay. I think we win. Behemoth Blade goes off into Calyx. Oh, dang. Oh, man. Thankfully, I did go for the Max Quake into Zacian because I almost considered airstreaming, expecting double protect on the last turn of Dynamax. That was so clutch. That was so clutch. Okay. Also, were they Life Orb? I don't think they were, right? I'm pretty yeah, Life Orb should have done way more damage. So thankfully, we were just able to... I wonder what item the Calyx is then. It didn't look like it had a boosting item. I don't know what the item on the Calyx is then. I'm trying to figure it out, but I just can't really think of it. But yeah, we were able to thankfully... I think the Charizard didn't go exactly as well as I would have liked. I could have probably picked the knockout the Charizard really easily to turn 1. However, I guess then they bring in the Landorus. I mean, not the Landorus, the Zacian. And then they threaten my Landorus. And I guess that's not fun too, regardless. Then they get Tailwind up. They always threaten my Zacian and my Grimmsnarl. If I get a read on the Max Guard, or if they target the Grimmsnarl, or one of those, if they get one of those reads right of what I do. And I guess it's still pretty bad at the end of the day. And yeah, I guess it would have still been tough regardless. Thankfully, I think we were able to set up, I think, with the... I think them targeting Yveltal because they were like, Yveltal's a threat. Maybe they thought the Landorus was going to Max Guard there. Or maybe they didn't think they were going to KO for some reason. Or maybe they were also worried about Sucker Punch from the Yveltal. Because if I did reveal Life Orb, but I didn't reveal Sucker Punch. If they thought I had Sucker Punch, the sub makes a lot of sense there. And I guess they want to take the knockout into the to the Yveltal because they thought maybe their Calyx could win, which thankfully not behind the sub when I go for the Max Quake KO onto their Zacian. And that is the show. Golisopod was fun. Golisopod was fun. It's a really unique Pokemon here. And yeah, the fact that we were able to kind of use it, I think, as a pivot for a lot of cases, and really just make some smart switches. And yeah, I mean, it could have been like really cool if we got some emergency exit plays off here, but I think it'd be really hard to execute, and it really just depends on like what kind of matchup we're facing. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. And again, if you want to check out the creator, the team, and the details down below in the description is a paste bin. You could try out the team with the rental code on the screen right here. And if you want to check out more Series 12 content, I do have a lot of videos with some really cool teams and a lot of fun Pokemon. But thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch y'all later.